Stephen A., how much pressure is on Doc to win this series?
Immense. I believe if Doc Rivers doesn't win this series, he'll be fired. And I don't think he deserves it.
In a jaw-dropping turn, the Milwaukee Bucks' gamble on Doc Rivers has backfired spectacularly. This isn't just any ordinary blunder. It's a blockbuster disaster. Rivers, known for playoff collapses, is already tanking the Bucks' season just 11 days after his hiring announcement. Merely 11 days after Doc's grand announcement as the Bucks' new head coach, things are already careening off the rails faster than you can say slam dunk. Now, we're all familiar with Doc's track record, right? Playoff collapses, faltering under pressure, the whole shebang. But did anyone anticipate the chaos unraveling this swiftly? We mean, they haven't even reached that notorious 3-1 lead stage where Doc usually starts showcasing his skills. So here's the deal. Doc's been cooling his heels since the Sixers gave him the boot last season. Perhaps he was just eager to jump back into the fray, shake off the rust and all that jazz. But let's face it, folks, it's not even the All-Star break yet. Maybe Doc missed the memo on taking it slow because what transpired in the recent showdown against the Utah Jazz was an absolute catastrophe. Picture this. Blowing a 12-point lead and enduring a 15-point thrashing. And to top it off, they were outscored by a staggering 27 points in the fourth quarter alone. We mean, come on, Doc. We were expecting a tad more finesse, a hint more flair, but instead, we were treated to a front-row spectacle of the Bucks' meltdown extravaganza. Picture this. The team sitting in 10th place in the Western Conference. Yeah, you heard us right. It's like they're stuck in a coaching nightmare. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's record takes a hit, dropping them to 33-17. But hey, they're still holding on to that second spot in the Eastern Conference. Now let's shift our focus to the East. Oh boy, it's a mess. We're talking about a complete disaster zone. And let's not even start on the Boston Celtics, led by their head coach, who seems to have landed the gig by pure luck. They were completely embarrassed on their home turf when a Lakers team missed LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It's like history repeating itself from their epic playoff collapse last season. The team was staring down the barrel at a daunting 0-3 deficit against the underdog 8th seed. But did they crumble under pressure? Heck no. They rallied like warriors, winning 3 straight games and sending shockwaves through the league. Now that's the stuff of legends, right? But hold on to your seats because here's where the plot thickens. Game 7 rolls around and what happens? Disaster strikes. We're talking about an absolute beatdown of monumental proportions. They were obliterated by a staggering 21-point margin on their home court. And here's the kicker. They were favored by a hefty 7.5 points. Can you believe it? It's like something out of a sports fan's worst nightmare. But wait, it gets even crazier. Despite the crushing defeat, the head coach has the audacity to claim they had the right mindset, played harder, and were prepared. Now that's either some serious delusion or the most optimistic spin we've ever heard. But here's the real head scratch. Why on earth did Missoula still have his job after that debacle? There's speculation flying around about potential blackmail material, but who knows what's really going on behind closed doors. And let's not even get started on the tantalizing prospect of an Eastern Conference final showdown between Boston and Milwaukee. Just imagine the tension, the drama, the sheer chaos. It's like a scene straight out of a Spider-Man meme, with Rivers and Missoula locked in a battle of wits to see who can outchoke whom. Honestly, you couldn't dream up a more absurd scenario if you tried. But hey, that's the beauty in the sport, right? It's unpredictable, it's wild, and it keeps us on the edge of our seats. And just when things seem to be on the upswing for Philadelphia, fate decided to throw a curveball their way. We're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, folks, perched at the top of the Eastern Conference standings, with arguably the only team boasting a competent head coach. It was a moment of triumph, a glimmer of hope for Philly fans everywhere. But then, like a bolt from the blue, Joel Embiid's injury reared its ugly head once again. Now, if you've been following Embiid's career, you know the drill. In his decade-long NBA journey, he's been plagued by injuries, struggling to stay on the court for more than half the games in a season. And guess what? This season is shaping up to be no different. Embiid is set to miss a substantial portion of the remaining games due to surgery to repair his torn meniscus. It's a devastating blow for the Sixers, a setback that threatens to derail their entire season. Just imagine the frustration, the disappointment, the sheer heartache for both Embiid and the team. But here's the thing. Adversity has a funny way of testing a team's mettle, separating the contenders from the pretenders. If there's one thing we know about Philly, it's that they're a resilient bunch. They've weathered storms before and they'll do it again. Now let's shift our focus to the broader landscape of the Eastern Conference. With Embiid sidelined, the race for the top spot is wide open, ripe for the taking. And who better to capitalize on this golden opportunity than Giannis and TMO? We're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, a perennial top 3 MVP contender, and TMO, a former Defensive Player of the Year. These guys are the real deal, the driving force behind Milwaukee's quest for glory. But here's the catch. Time is of the essence. Giannis, who just turned 29 in December, is in the prime of his career, and Milwaukee needs to make every moment count. They can't afford to let this opportunity slip through their fingers. It's now or never for the Bucks, a chance to cement their place among the NBA elite. Now, as we speak about the former Defensive Player of the Year, this guy is not just a player but a walking stat machine, churning up impressive numbers like a well-oiled engine. We're talking about a player who effortlessly racks up 31 points, grabs 12 rebounds, and dishes out 6 assists on any given night. Now, hold on to your hats because here's where the plot thickens. The team made a big move during the offseason, pulling off a major trade to bring Dame in. And let us tell you, it's officially winning time. But wait, let's rewind for a second. In what universe did the hiring of Doc Rivers actually make sense for the Bucks? We mean seriously. Let's look at the facts here. Doc Rivers' coach teams have a knack for blowing leads in the playoffs. We're talking 3 blown 3-1 leads, 4 other 3-2 leads, and 1 2-0 lead. And if that's not enough to make you question the hiring decision, get this, they've lost Game 7 at home a whopping 4 times. Now, if that doesn't scream ridiculously bad, we don't know what does. Home teams in NBA history boast a win percentage of roughly 81%, but Rivers has managed to lose 4 of those crucial games. And here's the kicker, his 3 blown 3-1 leads make him the undisputed leader in league history for any coach ever. That's right, roughly 23% of the total 13 blown 3-1 leads in NBA history can be attributed to Doc Rivers' coach teams. Talk about a coaching job from hell, right? It's like a never-ending roller coaster of disappointment and heartache for fans everywhere. Let's dive into the playoffs, folks, where Rivers' coaching prowess seemed to hit rock bottom. We mean, let's call a spade here. Rivers is historic garbage when it comes to playoff performances. It's like a broken record, repeating the same disappointing tune season after season. And if you need any more proof, just take a look at what happened last night. The team got absolutely curb-stomped by the sub-500 Jazz. And to add insult to injury, they were outscored by a jaw-dropping 40-13 in the fourth quarter alone. It's like a nightmare come to life for Bucks fans everywhere. But here's the silver lining maybe, just maybe. This debacle will set the postseason expectations for this team at a more appropriate level. You know what they say, if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. And it's glaringly obvious that Milwaukee Bucks ownership failed to do their homework on Rivers' recent playoff history before making their most recent, and let's be honest, pathetic coaching hire. It's a harsh truth to swallow, but sometimes you've got to face the music and own up to your mistakes. So as we lick our wounds and brace ourselves for what's to come, let's hope that lessons are learned, changes are made, and the Bucks can rise from the ashes stronger than before. Anyway, do drop your thoughts in the comment section below and we'll meet again in the next episode. So do subscribe and give it a thumbs up. See you guys!